The moving pinch is a surround and attack setup used when a selected target is on the move. Once the group selects or identifies their target, they'll stalk and close the distance, positioning themselves around them as they're moving. This setup is deceptive by design. The group's movement of following and boxing in their target appears natural and often goes completely unnoticed. This example used a group of 4 fully boxing in their target on opposing sides, but moving pinches can take on a variety of different configurations. Regardless of how they position themselves, this setup follows the same pattern of behavior. They target select, stalk, surround, and then attack. Surrounding the target prior to going hands-on allows the group to block off directions of escape and attack inward on multiple fronts. For pickpocket crews, it allows them to get close to the target, disrupt their movement, and disguise their sensory overload tactics in order to steal. I covered this group's tactics in episode 1. This is a moving pinch using the stall method. The 2 in the front abruptly stop at the top of the stairs, trapping the target in the confined space. During the confusion, the pick works the lift from behind, while the rest provide shade. A news reporting agency in Brazil set up shop in an area where pickpockets and thieves are well known to operate. This viaduct in the city center of Sao Paulo is the group's attack zone, and anyone moving through it is a potential target. In this video they captured, they filmed a crew using a moving pinch and a phone snatch. This man, walking with his cell phone pressed to his ear, is the target. He's being stalked by this crew of 7 people, working to take up position around him. This woman is the stall. She puts herself in front of the target and controls the pace of his movement. These 2 men are the main characters in the theft. The rest are used for misdirection. The target is now boxed in, and they've closed the distance around him. Opportunity just knocked. Let's break down what the target just likely went through. As he's walking, his attention is distracted by a cell phone, pulling his focus away from his surroundings. There's a term we use for this. It's called being in victim state. It's a beacon to predators that you're an easy target. Then, he's suddenly shoved from behind. This can trigger the startle flinch response. That's our hardwired, preconscious reflex to unexpected stimuli. At the same time, the shove throws off his equilibrium. His vestibular system, that's the system responsible for our balance, kicks in and he shuffles his feet to catch himself from falling. And in that split second, his brain likely perceived he was under attack, which could set off his fight or flight response. While he's processing all of this, the phone is already gone. He then turns around expecting to be able to identify who or what just attacked him, and he sees nothing he would expect. An older man with gray hair on the side where he was shoved. Another man pointing vaguely looking around. Nothing makes sense. This entire attack is built off sensory manipulation and misdirection. Did you see who ended up with the phone? This is why he's walking around with a newspaper. It gives him a place to hide the stolen phone. Prior to the snatch, look at the positioning. He's completely oblivious that the group has him boxed in. When I teach these tactics, something I commonly hear is, how do they not notice they've been surrounded? You're walking and then suddenly you're surrounded with people very close to you. If you have good awareness and can identify this as problematic behavior as it's unfolding, then it's a reasonable question. For many of us, we've spent our lives navigating crowds and people. We often don't default to assuming danger as people move around us, especially if nothing negative has ever happened. And that's why the setup of a moving pinch can be difficult to detect. It's concealed under the guise of normal behavior. Often pickpockets will use confined and crowded spaces to their advantage. In crowded places, people expect to have less personal space, that people will be closer to them, moving around them, maybe even brushing against them. Pickpockets and thieves often use this to get closer to their target, without setting off any alarm bells. In the next video in this series, I'll break down how pickpockets use moving pinches inside of these restricted spaces.